Call of Duty, probably one of the most popular first-person shooters out there, and fairly loved by many people. Maybe not the current ones. I definitely enjoy the older ones. But some pretty bad news, I have to say, and it's now there was a modification that was going to be released called H2M. Now, H2M is essentially a modification, something that we should have actually got, to be honest with you. Shouldn't have had to be made by a fan-made project, but a lot of fan-made people or people in the Call of Duty community are just wanting something new. Like, in the Call of Duty community, I feel like we are getting abused by Activision and stuff like that. Like, the past 5 years, I want to say, 4 or 5 years, have been absolutely ass for Call of Duty. Like, it's just been, buy this skin, buy this bundle, buy this, you want a cool skin for your weapon, buy this, buy that. And I just feel like, now, don't get me wrong, there was, obviously, I think it's more of a cash grab now than it was with Black Ops 3. At least the supply drops were the only thing that was sort of cash grab in that game. Yeah, there was DLC and stuff like that, but that was the only thing in that game that felt like it was being shoved down your throat. And to be quite honest with you, I don't think it was that shoved down your throat. It was awful supply drops. Yes, there were. They weren't a great thing, and to be honest with you, it was a very common thing back then. Activision, or Call of Duty, likes to follow trends. Back then, loot boxes and stuff like that in games was fairly common. Fairly common. A lot of games did it. I think Overwatch did it, but I think they still do it. Star Wars Battlefront did it as well. So it wasn't a new thing. It was very done by a lot of games. And again, it's like what Call of Duty seems to do. They follow the trend of how games and how to make money in games. Now, I'm not very shocked at why they do it like that and why they do that. It's not shocking at all. But it's just a shame that how Call of Duty has turned out now. Now, Call of Duty, this is what they got sent. The H2M mods people, the developers, the people who worked and bent their ass over, probably for very little. In fact, I don't even think they got paid for this. They didn't ask for donations. They didn't ask for anything. This is what they got sent on Twitter. Today, our team members received a cease and desist order on behalf of Activision Publishing in relation to the H2M mod project. We are complying with this order and shutting down all operations immediately and permanently. Now, what exactly was H2M and, what was it going to do? Well, it required you to actually buy a copy of Modern Warfare Remastered, which is just a remastered version of Call of Duty 4 that was released, I think, in 2007. That released alongside Infinite Warfare. They had to bundle it together purely because, Infinite Warfare was ass and they knew nobody would actually buy it, so they had to bundle it together with that. Now, it's fairly popular on console, but it was never really popular on PC. Now, bearing in mind, it's hacked to shit now. Apparently, there's a big exploit on there. It's been very rough on PC for a while, that game. In fact, I think it's been rough since the game came out. Driver issues and stuff like that. You could not play that game for some reason. However, a few in the team, I don't know how long this mod's actually taken to actually do. I think maybe a year or something like that. I don't know. I don't know how big the group is. Maybe 10 working on it. And a lot of them, I think one of the people who actually were on the development team made a video, like a Q&A thing, asking people questions and answers on the game and stuff like that. And it looked promising, this. It looked like, if you played Modern Warfare Remastered, the Modern Warfare 2 Remastered they released in 2020, that Modern Warfare, the one that is pretty much just half of a game. In fact, less than half of a game, because it's missing 2 game modes that was in the original Modern Warfare. It's missing the Spec Ops and it's missing the multiplayer. And they sold it for the same price as what you can actually buy the original Modern Warfare 2 at. So, yeah, that should have actually come with it. Now, it was very obvious why they didn't release multiplayer because, well, it's quite clear people would have actually bought that and actually enjoyed that and played that more than they would have done Modern Warfare 2019. But this game, the H2M, was supposed to kind of be what we should have got with Modern Warfare Remastered, Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, that released back in 2020. Now, again, a lot of people were very shocked to see this actually being taken down. There's a bunch of people on Twitter like, I'm not shocked at all. I knew this was going to happen, whether that was after launch or before launch. I do think Activision I think they've done this on purpose in a way. Now, the game was actually supposed to launch tomorrow, which is the 16th. It's the 15th today. The game was supposed to launch then. And they've decided to take the game down or send a cease and desist today. Now, I don't know if that's just a one big coincidence and they didn't know, or are they just waiting till it releases or day before it releases just to be extra assholes? It kind of seems like that. Why would you wait a day before it launches? Not even a day, a few hours before it launches, I think it's going to be. I don't know what time it'll launch. I think it launched at midnight. Well, would have launched at midnight. But obviously, you can't play it anymore unless someone actually finds the file and distributes it out there. But then again, I wouldn't really trust downloading that because there's a good chance they're probably it's going to be full of malware and shit like that you're going to end up installing. So yeah, it's not very surprising at all that this was taken down. It's actually very unsurprising. It's Activision. They've taken, again, like I said, in 2023, they took down two or three mods. SM2 was probably one of the biggest mods. It was a lot of people loved it. It was actually going to feature Call of Duty Ghost weapons and stuff like that, and weapons from various other Call of Duties. And a lot of people were happy with that. A lot of people were like, "Yes, finally a good game. You know, finally we can actually enjoy it." But they took it down. Obviously, this is what they actually put last year. Today, a team member received a cease and desist letter on behalf of Activision Publishing in relation to the SM2 project. We are complying with this order and shutting down all operations permanently. Thank you for your support over the past 2 years. So they put out a very similar tweet to this. Now, Activision is currently trending on Twitter. A lot of people are just not happy with this at all. Now, the thing that actually makes me kind of shocked about this is, and you know what, I said I'm not surprised. I am kind of surprised here because this actually affected nothing. Bear in mind, this didn't pirate any of the game. You didn't have to pirate the game to download this. Like, you had to buy the game. You had to buy the game on Steam to actually play this mod. You had to go out, buy the game on Steam, and then download the game to actually play this modification. And you're telling me, Activision, you're telling me you decided to take this shit down because of what? Because it was affecting your profit? Because it's going to drive players away from the shit you're actually releasing? Maybe start releasing some good fucking games, and then people wouldn't be driven away from the crap, you know? Now, obviously, this is only PC, and obviously it's not going to be a wider range at all, but there's still quite a lot of people that were really happy and were very happy to play this game. You know, they weren't sad or anything. They were ready to play this game, and I was, you know? And I think a lot of people actually went out and purchased, I think it was like number 3 on the Steam best-selling in the US, I think. You know, it's quite clear a lot of people were ready for this. And, Activision, you know what? When's that mod releasing? When's that mod? When's H2M release? Oh, it's releasing tomorrow? Send the cease and desist. It just makes me laugh. Why on earth they do this? Why do you have to be arseholes? Why on earth do you have to be arseholes? Because it's sad. It's very sad to see this. And again, it doesn't shock me one piece that they do this. And I don't think anyone really. I say, well, I'm partially shocked, but I'm not shocked as well. Bit of in between. I'm shocked because, well, they didn't actually do anything. They didn't tell people to pirate the game. In fact, the game was that popular that someone actually put an exploit out there and malware in the actual game. Because they realized it was way popular. Bearing in mind, Modern Warfare Mastered on PC has really never been popular. I think the maximum players I think that apparently had, according to Steam, the Steam chat thing, was about 1,600, somewhat 1,400. 1.4k players. Now, bear in mind, PC Call of Duty didn't used to be very popular. That's probably because it was very unoptimized. No, there were still players, and there's, I think, at the time of this, I think there's about 300 players playing it. Most of them are probably on mods. I don't know if that actually counts through that, though. Either way, a lot of people were very happy. I don't know how many people actually purchased Modern Warfare Mastered to actually go out and play this. I don't think you can see that on Steam. But anyway, a lot of people were ready to play this. A lot of people were happy to play this. You know, I was ready. I was like, yes, I'm finally going to be playing H2M. This is incredible. Like, bearing in mind, you had a full, it was pretty much just like the whole thing. A full unlock system. I think it had all Modern Warfare 2 weapons. Bearing in mind, they were remastered. They were fucking remastered weapons. From I think they took a lot of them assets from Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. I'm pretty sure. I'm not too sure, but it looks like they did. Remastered weapons, and they looked incredible. The gameplay looked fucking crazy. It should have really what we should have got with the Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. But again, they decided to say, oh, no, we're only going to release the campaign because they were assholes. You know, it's a real shame that... I know, again, it's not a new thing, Activision doing this, like I said. Other mods have been taken down. And it's every fan-made project, a part of Call of Duty, is probably going to get taken down no matter what it does. And it's a real shame, to be honest. It is a real shame that this still keeps happening, and it's only going to keep happening. And again, the only way you can get around it is maybe try and tell Activision to stop being assholes. But again, I don't think they're going to listen because it's money for them, isn't it? You know, it doesn't really surprise me at all. And again, I'm sure a lot of the people who were working on this project had an idea that someday Activision are going to come knocking on their door and telling them to get this taken down. You're not allowed to do this. It's not even affecting their profit or anything like that. I could understand if they were telling people to go and pirate the game or they were actually profiting from this. I could understand if they were selling this mod and stuff like that. But they're not even doing anything like that. They're not even profiting from the game. In fact, Activision is profiting from the game because people are having to go out and buy the actual game, you know, which, again, I don't know whether it's to do with profit, to do with the fact that people are actually going in ahead and playing on older Call of Duties rather than going on the newer Call of Duties. Probably because the newer Call of Duties is just about money these days. You pay $60. Bear in mind, the game is, I think, $10 more than what it used to be. And the game now is just full of not pay to win content, but just paid content. It's the monetization in Call of Duty and the past years has gone from DLCs. They're like, it started DLCs. Okay, people love that. Season passes it started with. DLCs and season passes. People didn't mind that. The season pass was, I think, like $40. But I think it'd be a little bit cheaper, like $6 cheaper, I think, something like that, than buying individual DLCs. And obviously in towards the end of Call of Duty Ghosts, Advanced Warfare, they decided to use supply drops. Now, this was a controversial move, but I don't think it was as pushed as it was with now how it is now. And in Call of Duty Ghosts, you could actually buy camos. Now, bearing in mind, the camos back there for a weapon, I think were like $1. $1 for a camo. I think now it would be... I think the average bundle on Call of Duty costs about $10 to $15 to $20. The average bundle. That is incredibly... That's for like a weapon, a skin, and a few other things. That is incredibly crazy. Back in the day, you could actually get camos. You could actually get an operator. I think like a spacesuit operator in Call of Duty Ghosts for very cheap. And now Call of Duty has just turned into this pay to win. Well, not pay to win, but I'd say pay to. It's just a cash grab now. Call of Duty. It's even more of a cash grab than when they used to have supply drops. It's just like they've got a whole store page with a bunch of absolute crap. And of course, they're releasing, again, the worst operators ever. These half-assed operators. They're even getting celebrities in these operators now to try and sell them. Now, again, it's not just Call of Duty who do this. It seems to be that Call of Duty follows a trend of how things are in monetization in games. They're doing the Fortnite route, and to be fair, it's not the only game is seemed to doing this with a battle pass and the item shop where they could buy loads of crap. It's not a very big shocker at all. It seems like a lot of games seem to be following this route, but I just don't see why Activision are so annoyed at the fact of people not buying the game. I don't know. I'm still trying to understand why on earth they're so annoyed, and why on earth they decided to take this down. I don't know. My guess is probably as good as that. I don't know. Was it, again, it can't have been to do with profit unless they don't realise, but they weren't telling people, they told people you're required to actually have the actual game installed from Steam. In fact, that was the only version. I know there's another version that you can use on the Microsoft Store. That version isn't available to use on this mod. You could only get this game to use this mod on Steam unless you pirated it. But then again, they obviously don't condone that. So I'm just a little annoyed why Activision just took their time to again abuse their power. Abuse who they are. I mean, it's not just Activision though, is it? It's companies when they've got that much money, they don't really care who they're against. They'll just sue the shit out of you. It's again not one bit surprising. It's just very annoying. Why on earth you'd go that route? I think Activision, like these, bearing in mind these fan-made projects, I'd say in most cases are actually better than the garbage, the $60, the $70 now. Didn't it used to be like $50 or something for Call of Duty? Holy shit. Anyway, that's beside the point. They're better than the garbage. In fact, and then it's just a group of teens or a group of people just working on these. They don't get paid. This is a passion project. They're just doing this out of the passion they have for Call of Duty. The passion they have for games that are half-assed. The passion they have to make something cool and make people have enjoyment. These guys got no money whatsoever unless people donated through a Patreon to help them, but I don't think they did that. They got absolutely no money whatsoever from this, and it's a shocker, really. It is. It's not surprising, but it's sad. It is very sad to see. Activision just saying, you know what, you're not making any money from this. We're actually still making money from this, but sorry, we just have to cease and desist you because it's better than what we actually would end up producing. And you're right in saying that. It is better than what Activision, even in the past 5 years, yes, it's better than what they've been producing. Wow, what an actual joke, and what an absolute joke Activision have turned into. It's, again, not surprising, but it is kind of surprising in a way how they've taken this down. But, hey, it is what it is, and I'm sure even the people working on this had an idea that someday it will probably come that Activision will end up cease and desisting something like this. Fan-made projects and Activision don't mix. Activision don't like people being passionate at all, because they realize, again, that a lot of these people who are putting time and effort into these are making better slop than what you are. What a shame. R.I.P. H2M. You were good, even though we never really got to play you, or I never got to really play you, because, again, Activision they're on some next level hating, cease and desisting the game almost a day before it actually released. What a joke.